So you can see the Python screen over here, and I have a console below, and there is an editor towards the left. This one is called as the Python editor, I mean Spider editor, where we can write our programs and save them like any other editors that we have. Let's learn how to declare a variable, simple initialization techniques like putting a hash and writing. Let's say I'm declaring a variable a and declaring a equal to 5. Okay. So 5 is stored in a, and if you write a and hit enter, you will see the value of 5 is stored in a. Okay. So as usual, it is case sensitive like other programming that you have. And let's suppose I take another variable b and I store 9. I take another variable c where I go on writing a plus b is equal to a plus b, and let's see the result. It's 14. Okay. So these are simple initialization things that we have. Let's say you can go for multiplication also. It will be, let's see what result it gives. You can go for division also. Subtraction also. Go for it. We can use numerical Python library. There are certain libraries that are available which can be of some use to us. One such library is called as the numerical Python library, and we call it as NumPy library. Right. This is called as numerical Python, which will be we will be using for almost all the programs. So how to import this library? Make a note of it. How to import this library? I am writing import numpy means numerical Python as some name, right? I have given a name np. It can be np, can be some name, right? So we have imported this numerical Python library, and we have written import numpy as np. And let's see some example how we can use this. Let me write a is equal to, I'm writing np dot once, and I'm giving some parameter 1 comma 10. I have written ap is equal to np dot once, and I have written in square bracket 1 comma 10. Let's see in a what is stored. So you can see by writing np dot once, it creates an array, single dimensional array, where we have the array elements that are all ones, right? That are all ones. So if you write like this, 2 comma 10, see, so you can see we have an array which consists of 20 elements, whereas they are stored row wise, right? In each row you have 10 elements. We have two such rows, and all the values are ones. Let's suppose you are asked to make a 5 cross 5 thing. So what you will make? 5 rows 5 columns. You will get an array like this. So whenever we require all ones for some purpose at some point of time in our programming, we can use this. Similarly, we can write for zeros also. Let me take another variable b, and I'm writing np dot zeros. And I'll be writing 3 comma 3, let's suppose. So what it will do? It will create an array of 9 zeros. That array will be having 3 rows and 3 columns. You can see. If at all you would like to make an array which consists of 100 elements and all 100 elements should be 0, then what we will write? We will write make an array of 100 elements and all elements should be 0. Someone should say what I will write. Rule number 20. Speak. Rule number 20.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can tell what I will write.
Uh,
Let's say I would like to store it in some variable C. So to make 100 elements, I will write np dot
zeros.
zeros
2 comma 50. 1 comma 100.
1 comma 100. Which is C consists of 100 zeros, right? Single dimensional array. It is having all zeros in one row. Let's suppose we would like to create some array. I'm taking the variable, let's suppose k1 is equal to np dot array and declaring the array elements comma 2 comma 3 comma 4. So if I press enter, what will happen? An array will be created that consists of 4 elements, and 4 elements are in one dimension only. Right? So one dimensional array you will get. You can see it creates an array which is having 4 elements, like a row. So if at all you want like 1, 2 in one row and 3, 4 in another row, what we should do? Right, like this. Okay. If I would like to go for a two-dimensional array, in first row I have 1, 2, in second row I have 3, 4. I can use or write like this. There is another useful thing. Arrange. So what is this? Let's suppose I would like to write 2 equal to numerical Python dot range, and I'm writing 1 comma 5. Can anyone say what output I will get? If I just answer. Right, np dot arrange 1 comma 10 or 1 comma 5 or 1 comma 15. What I will get? Let's check. I'm getting an array which is having element from 1 up to what? Real values up to 5, isn't it? 5 is not included, you can see. Let's try with this. If I write 5.1, what it is giving? Anyone who can answer? I've written 5.1 or 5.01 or any value greater than 5. So what it will give? Let's check. It is able to make an array and store it, which is having values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So the second value, if at all you want to have an single dimension array, or I mean some sort of thing like that, and you want the other end value to be included, you should write there some value which is greater than the end value. Right? If you write 5.9 also, you will get the same thing. Right? You will get the same. To write 6 also, you are going to get the same thing. I guess it is clear to all of you. Then, if at all, if I write like this, maybe arrange up to 100, we see that 100 values are stored starting from 1 to 99. So we can go one. I have written 100.01. So you can see the value from 1 to 100 is stored in a variable called A2, and the values are taken with an interval of 1. If at all you want the step size should not be 1 or more than that, that also can be done. And what we will write is numerical Python dot arrange. So 1 comma up to the last limit, and let me say this is step size 2 I have written. So let's check what we are getting. You can see 1 to 100 with step size of 2. You can see all the odd numbers in between 1 to 100 are listed and stored in the variable. Similarly, if at all you want to go for the interval 3 or step size 3, that also can be done. When you decide step size, you can have. Now let's learn another thing, Python array addition. Let me take an array B1 and I write numerical Python dot arrange. So I'm taking value from 1 to 10. You can see the value of B1 is 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 9. How many elements are there? How many elements are there? You can see that we have 9 elements. Let me take another variable B2 and I would like to make all values of B2 1 and I would like to take 9 values. What I will write? I'll write np dot once numerical python dot once and within square bracket I will write 1 comma 9 and let's check what is B2. So B2 you can see an array which is having an element all ones and we have 9 elements that are available with us. Now if I go for B1 plus B2 you can see what answer you are getting. So element wise addition is possible by writing this, isn't it? Each element of B1 is added with each element of B2. 2 plus 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 1 3, 3 plus 1 4, and so on. 9 plus 1 10. Let's try with some other mathematical stuff. Into it is also working. You see the output. So here multiplication with a scalar was possible. And let's try with B1 into B2 and check what we are getting. B1 into B2. What you are getting? B1 into B2. Let's what is B1? 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 9. What is B2? All ones. If you multiply B1 into B2, what is the dimension of the array? It is of the same dimension, right? 1 row, 9 columns, and element wise multiplication was possible, right? 1 is multiplied with 1, 2 is multiplied with 1, 3 is multiplied with 1, and the last element 9 is also multiplied with 1. So numerical Python array multiplication is also possible. Line 72 is an example of array multiplication. Direct, it performs element-wise multiplication. Like in MATLAB, we use dot star. Here, that is not required. Directly, if I write B1 into B2, which is giving element by element multiplication. In MATLAB, we used to use dot star. Let's try with this thing B2 divided by B1. You can see B2 divided by B1. So B2 was 1, 1, 1, 1. Or let me write B1 divided by B2. Make notes. Yes. B1 divided by B2. B2 is an array which consists of 9 elements and all the elements are 1. And B1 is an array which is having 9 elements which are in ascending order starting from 1. So if you divide B1 by B2, B1 upon B2, as B2 is having all 1, the answer is equal to B1. And you can see that in output 74, we have got a single dimension array where element was division was made and the output is displayed. Another interesting property is if I write B1 double star B2, B1 double star B2, or let's say B1 double star B1 with same element. Right? B1 is having 9 elements starting from 1 to 9. I mean, I'm making uh, B1 double star B1. And let's check what it results into. Can anyone say it is
Power.
display B1? It's power, right? So 1 power 1, 2 power 2, 3 power 3, 4 power 4, and 9 power 9. And you can see the data type it is showing in the array. It's of integer 32-bit. So we have mechanism to manipulate it to 64-bit also. I will say in subsequent class. And let's go for some sort of logical operators. I would like to write an array. Let's suppose I'm writing an array and p dot arrange writing to common data and smaller range to common 10. So what is the content of C1? You can see 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So let me put one logical operation. I write C1 greater than 5. I have written C1 greater than 5. So if I hit enter, what I will get? I'm getting an array which is showing false, 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 false 4 times and true 4 times. It means what? It is comparing all the element of the array with the value 5. So 2 is greater than 5. Is it true? 2 is greater than 5. It is false. So that's why the first element is false. And 3 is greater than 5. Similarly, second condition also false. And 5 is greater than 5. That is also false. And the rest of the thing is true. So we got an array like this. Let me store it in C2, the same thing. C2 is this array. Let's say B1 is this array. So how many elements are there? I think this is having 9, that is having 8. Let's try B1 is equal to B dot array 8. 8 elements I have taken. The B1 to be this, 2 to be this, this is what we want. B1 plus C2. Okay, it's not. Friends could not be processed together. Anyway, so we have C2, which is having the output of a comparison that we had, and C1 happened to be this array. So we have compared that C1 greater than 5 with all elements of the C1 was compared with the value 5, and we got some value to be false, some value to be true. And if I write another logical condition, let's suppose C1 is not equal to 5. Let's try with this. It returns an array with not equal to 5. Only 5 is equal to 5, right? Rest of the elements are not equal to 5. So accordingly, we get the output like first 3 are true and 5 equal to 5, 5 not equal to 5 is false. Rest all are true. So this is another logical operator that can be used to us. Similarly, you can go for less than and other things. And if we go for this one less than 3, it is also returning. Dot arrange one common under one something. C3 is having these all elements. How many elements C3 have? How to find out? Let's check. Uh, so np dot size of C3. It returns number of element the array C3 have. Right? np dot size of C3. Let me try with this. Length is not there. We have length in MATLAB. So length is not there. We can go for size of C3 and we can get this. This is an important thing to know. P dot size of something. We have numerical Python dot abs. Let me list here. I will leave this for you to try. We have this. And we have numerical Python dot square root. You can see I have taken square root of 81. It's 9.0 it is showing, so it's 9. Similarly, you can take log 2 also. Go for and log this 2. 64 I will take. It's giving 6. To power 6 is 64. Similarly, you can go for log 10. 100. So get 2 power 10 power 2. 10 power 2 is equal to 100. So answer is 2. Let me another thing. I have P1 is an array. So write numerical Python dot max of P1 plus is returning maximum value in the array. Right? Maximum value in the array. np dot maximum max. And similarly, we have numerical Python dot real value. Let's try with one example. One plus J. Let's do G. J plus G is having complex array, and I would like to go for absolute value of G. Let's try. So it is giving absolute value of these two complex numbers which are present in the array. If I go for np dot real, so we get the real part of the complex numbers that are present in the array. So using np dot real, if at all you would like to extract the complex part of the complex number, we have np dot imaginary complex portion of the complex variable, right? It is sum of, I mean, two real variables like a plus jb. The other real variable is multiplied, right, with the complex variable b. The complex part can be extracted with, I mean, complex part in the sense the imaginary part can be extracted using np dot in, which another G1 we stored it. G1 is having something and G is having something. Try with this G3 is equal to P dot sum G1 G1. Try with it. The integer scalar array can be converted to scalar arrays. Real number is complex. Is equal to imaginary part of G. Is mirror. Your scalar arrays can be converted into scalar. Yes. So it is used to take sum of all the elements of a given array. I think so give me sum of plus 2 plus the dot up to 10. Right? So 55, you can normally calculate 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus to 10. Might be coming 54. So sum is used to sum up all the way. Let's try whether it is working with complex numbers or not. Or a complex number available with G, I guess. Yeah, yes, it's working. So G was this, and sum of these two is 3 plus 15J. And we have another module in numerical Python random, like I mean library, called as random. So this is an important thing for us to use in wireless digital communication. Like, the library. Let me generate samples of bus random variable. Zero variance. We can write, like, in order to use this, I have to write import numerical Python. We have to use random library. Now, import numpy dot random as nr. Import it. Now, if you write nr dot normally, it gives a random value which is having a mean 0 and variance 1. Let's execute the same statement again. So explicitly, we can specify the mean uh, in bracket nr dot normal. The first two what I have written that happen to be the mean. Then you can have next standard deviation. Let me write the formula here. You can write mean, that is standard deviation. Then so let's try. We have nr dot normal. Let's say mean is 2, variance is 1, the standard deviation will be square root of 1, that is 1. So let's take 5 elements. You can see we are able to create 5 random variables, which is having mean of 2 and a variance of 1. In question, if it is given variance of 3, so what you will write? We will ask you generate Gaussian random variable mean variance 10. What will do? Will anyone say? We will write nr dot normal mean is how much? 5. Variance is 10. So what we will write here? Variance 10. But in formula we have to write standard deviation, right? So standard deviation is square root of the variance. So we will write np dot, how to get square root. We have already seen np dot square root. What is np? We have imported numerical Python as np, right? Np dot square root. That's fine. Let's suppose I didn't mention how many elements you want. Let's suppose 5 elements you want. And you can see that the 5 elements are 5 random variables that are generated, which is having a mean of 5 and a variance of 10. Sometimes it is required for us to generate noise of certain mean and certain variance that will be mentioned, and we will be adding that to our digital modulated signal BPSK, QPSK, or PAM or whatever. At that point, this will be required. Let's suppose you would like to go for 10 element or 100 element. You can do it. And let's suppose I would like to go for a 3 cross 3, 9 elements, in which is distributed in 3 rows, 3 columns. But also be done in this. Like you can say it's a matrix kind of thing, right? When you require a complex matrix, a random matrix that need to be generated, which is having a mean of something and a variance of something, then in this way also it can be done. Then go for only lines. So let me give a task to you. Great. What you have to do is now to tell me how to generate white Gaussian noise of variance 3 dB. Variance is given in 3 dB. To do this, let's take a break and we will meet after 10 minutes. Meanwhile, you think how to generate Gaussian random variable, the Gaussian value, which is having a variance of 3 dB. I mean, or a set of Gaussian value, right, which is having a variance of 3 dB. And you can assume the mean is also 0, right? Mean is 0, variance of 3 dB. How to do that? Let's take a break and we will meet at 4 o'clock.